Hey guys, welcome back. This is Val from Dreamlight. In today's video, which is a much shorter video than the last one, I'm gonna just cover two cool tricks using the new Movie Maker racetrack. In this video, I'm gonna cover the Overcast version as opposed to the day version I covered in the last video. And the two effects I'm gonna cover is depth of field. You can use depth of field with these maps. I wanna show you how. And also I wanna show you how they are compatible with cool rain puddles, right? Using my own product called After Rain 2. So first of all, I'm gonna just load the Overcast version, which is identical to the day version, or the daylight version, right? And it's just that this one has a really cool cloud pattern in the sky, right? And also has a more kind of, well, overcast looking lighting, right? But it's the same set, it has the same features which you can see in the last video. Now I'm gonna add a car. So real quick, just here, browse for a car. Vehicles, I'm gonna add the same car as in the last video real quick. Upon loading, it ends up at 000, just like in the day version of the set. And the cool thing is, sometimes you want to add that blurry backdrop, right? So we can just go ahead and throw in, by the way, we can unlock the camera, right? And we can move a little bit closer to the car and kind of fake the height a little bit, right? From cooler angle. And also we can change the rendering proportion so it's a little bit wider and looks more cinematic. Now what I'm going to do is render this as it is, right? So just hit render and that creates this render which is sharp all over. And it's done, and we can just go ahead and save. So I'm going to call that, for instance, car sharp, right? And then all we do is on the camera, which is camera 0 free, right? On that camera, I'm going to turn off depth of field. On the top down view here, wireframe, what I'm going to do is just make sure when I'm selecting the the focal distance, that either the dot or line or whatever you have here that's moving, right, is where I want the sharpness to be. In this case, I want it to be on the rear of the car. And then I'm going to set this, and we can lower that for an extreme effect. You can do a little bit less than that if you want, right? I'm gonna just go with something like that, right? And just hit render again. So this is gonna render now the kind of blurry version of this set, right? Oops, this is the top-down view. Sorry about that. Let's go back. Choose the same camera here. Free, oops, 0 free, right? And just render. Cool. So this is the blurry version. And then I'm going to combine them in Photoshop, just adding a simple gradient. So it's very, very quick to do. And we can just save that and call it car duff. All right, I'm going to disable rendering and go for Photoshop real quick. And by the way, just as I'm rescaling the window here in Photoshop, this set is not released yet, so if you're not seeing a link underneath this video to the set in my DAZ store, it's because it's not out yet, but it will be out soon. So when you have this done here, right, I simply move my files to Photoshop and move the one that's blurry, select hit Ctrl A to select all, Ctrl C to copy, and go in here and use Ctrl V to paste on top of this. And of course you want to use Command instead of Control on the Mac, which doesn't have a Control key. So having this on top now, we're gonna click down here to create a layer mask, right? Then we're gonna use black color and a brush. And on the brush you want to have hardness 0, right? Forgive me, I'm a little bit ahead of the game. I want to show you that in a second. Go to gradient, okay? Black and white color, go to gradient, and choose gradient tool, and then hold down shift and just drag somewhere from where you want the sharpness to start decaying, and go for maybe somewhere around here. All right, so now you can have you can drag this one to kind of further select where the sharpness and or for blurriness starts, right? I'm gonna just have it somewhere. It's pretty cool that it hits the car as well, right? Then you have benefit of both renders. One is you have the sharp ground at the bottom, and two, you have the blurry backdrop, which is really cool. All right. And by the way, this works with any HDR map, right? Just do 2 renders, one with sharp ground, one with blurry backdrop, and then combine in Photoshop. And of course, you can also, once combined, you can, further adjust, like, exposure if you like. Some of these maps have a really cool sky. So when I created these HDR maps, I made sure that the ground is as bright as possible, but also the sky holds all the details, so it's not overexposed, right? So they tend to render a little bit on the dark side, which is by design. And you can, because these are HDR, you can just pull up the exposure, right? And you can do that inside DAZ Studio as well. If you want to control brightness inside DAZ Studio, you can do that as well. Let me show you that. And basically, when you have it default, you see that the sky holds a lot of data, right? There is just a beautiful formation and stuff going on, right? But if you want to have a brighter look, you can, increase that using here to 1 or 1.2 or whatever you want to have, right? That will make the set, the kind of ground, your car, look brighter at an expense of having a brighter sky, but that's possible to do. Now, the other thing I want to mention is that this set is indeed compatible with After Rain 2. So I'm going to go ahead and locate that in my store. What am I saying? In my library, Live Presets, Dreamlight Iray, and After Rain 2. Now I have this kind of weird installed here, so it's not showing the proper icons, but you can just load the puddles. This set comes with additional rain effects, drop effects, and also fog and so forth. We don't need all that, right? But the thing is, it is compatible. Another thing you need to kind of be aware of is that it may extend and hit portions of your set that are not really intentional, right? Maybe you don't want to have the rain kind of cut into all the stuff here at the side of the road, including here, right? I'm going to show you how to remove that. Basically, there's 2 ways. There's 2 rain puddles, right? You can also use texture shaded preview if you want, and then use the special light here so you can see the puddles on the car. And the thing is, you can just squeeze them if you want to, right? So they don't go on the sides. You can scale them all together, and you can move them, right? So you can position the puddles exactly where you want them to be, like underneath the car's tires. Then you've got an additional layer. You can do the same thing with that. You can scale it all together, or squeeze, or whatever you want to do, and then move it back and forth so that you have the correct pattern where you want it to be. And now you disable that light, that preview light, and you engage Iray, and off you go, right? And these this is pretty cool because it reflects both the cars in your renders and also the HDR environment itself, as you can see, right? So it's pretty cool, really cool. Now, even though you render this and you end up with, man, I have a lot of stuff here hitting outside, I don't want to move my puddles, how can I fix this? Well, it's very easy. All you do is render it as it is first. So just go ahead and render. That creates the main image with the puddles, including them hitting stuff that they shouldn't, right? And when this is done, we can just cancel, it's good enough looking. You can go ahead and save that as car with puddles. All right, and then you just remove the puddles and make another render. Me and layers, right? If you have been following me for a few years, you know that I love layers and everything that comes with it. It's just the most incredible thing, playing with layers and all that. So we have that done, looks good enough. Let's cancel and now save, and now I can just call it car, no puddles. All right, disable NVIDIA preview so it doesn't weigh my system. Go back to Photoshop, and what we're gonna do now is load those two images, no puddles and with puddles, in here. The one with puddles, I'm gonna move that on top of this one. All right, I can close this one here, and now I can add. That's why I was a little bit ahead of the game previously when I was talking about having black color and the brush, all right, and then opacity 100%, because now I can go in here and say, I want that removed. So I'm painting it away from my render exactly where I do not want that effect to be. Let's say I don't want it to be here on this border, so I can just remove that beautifully. Awesome, right? And you can also use opacity. So you can kind of paint, I want a little bit less rain, but I don't want to remove it entirely. I want to maybe remove a little bit of this, right? And you can kind of refine and paint your way to the effect you want and really create the dramatic effects you want, the way you want them, right? So guys, that was pretty much it. As I said, this set is not yet out. If you don't see a link below this video, it's because there is none. As soon as it hits my DAZ store, you will be able to take a look at this and get this for yourself and play with it. So that's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Follow this channel to get more free videos, get notified upon free releases of videos, and also be sure to capture any promotions I'm doing. From time to time, I'm going to be sending and creating videos on special promotions, so don't miss them out. Follow this channel, make sure you are up to date. That's all, guys. Have fun. See you soon again.